Welcome to another conversation off the clock. Hi, I'm Carmina Constantino Torres, and this is Casey After Hours. Those carefully crafted questions said in that monotone voice, coupled with that piercing stare, that's become the trademark of our next guest. A once accidental candidate, now a celebrated congresswoman. For her sharpness, her kindness, her courage. Mula sa bayan ng Mabini, napunta sa kongreso, ano na nga ba ang susunod sa destinasyon sa larga ni Luistro. Let's all welcome Batangas 2nd District Representative Jinky Bitrics Reyes-Luistro. Congresswoman, welcome to the program. It's nice to see you in person. Nakakangiti ka naman pala ng yung maigi lang, yung pwede ka palang maging light. No?
Relax lang.
Relaxed, oo. Pwede palang ganon.
Of course. And thank you, Casey, for having me here.
Oh, you're the woman of the hour. I wanted to get to know you a little bit more, and I'm sure marami din sa ating mga taga-subaybay ang gustong makilala. Sino nga ba si Congresswoman Jinky Bitrics Reyes-Luistro? Saan niyo ba nakuha yung line of questioning ninyo? I know that you're a trained lawyer.
Yeah.
But it's very sharp. It's very deliberate. Where did you get that style?
Siguro I have to share my background, Casey, no? Apart from being a lawyer, a full-fledged lawyer, during my law school years, I was very much active in debating. And as a matter of fact, I earned the Best Debater Award in some debating competition that I joined. So I think I earned that skills of formulating the questions from my training in debate and in law school.
Okay, and because of that training, don't you get frustrated sometimes na yung mga katabi nyo dyan sa kongreso, abogado pa man din? Katulad nyo, ha? Pero parang hindi ganun kabuti magtanong.
I'm sorry, Casey, but I feel otherwise because to be honest with you, I am so inspired joining this team, the Quadcom, the young guns, and even the chairpersons who are leading the investigation. The way I see it, we are diverse people, diverse investigators, diverse members of the House, which when gathered together make a powerful impact in as far as the investigation is concerned.
Do you get to talk amongst yourselves? Nag-uusap pa muna kayo na bago kayo sumalang na, kung Jinky ito line of questioning mo. Kung Benny, itong line of questioning mo. Kung Zia, dito ka papasok. May ganun ba kayo?
Somehow we do have a short informal discussion, at least for me to share what will be my interest this time, what will be my colleagues' interest of questions with respect to one particular investigation. We just avoid having duplication, no? Kasi we understand our interpellation is limited to 5 minutes only.
Parang hindi. Parang hindi nagiging 5 minutes.
And sometimes it is too frustrating na yung gustong-gusto mong itanong, biglang naitanong na nung mga kasama mo.
Correct.
So there are times that I volunteer, sinasabi ko agad sa mga chairs, I want to focus on this topic. So it will be automatic on the part of the other congs to focus on some other topics. Marami naman kasing pwedeng pag-usapan at itanong, especially we have a number of resource speakers in every schedule of the investigation.
In the CODCOM, there are established names already. No?
I know.
At tapos may young guns din.
Yeah.
Parang ikaw yung hindi, and then there are new faces, younger than you know. How did you pierce through that bubble? Nahirapan ba kayo? Because you kind of seem as if you're at home in Congress.
I didn't know that I look like at home.
May kababa na parang, was there also sort of some tentativeness na parang, how do I establish my person here? How do I how do I make myself distinct from the others?
I don't think I became conscious about how I established myself or the impression that I want the people to get from me. I prefer focusing on the issue on hand during the investigation. As a matter of fact, kahit nga yung tinatanong ko I sometimes disregard their personality, their person, and focus instead on the issue on hand. One time, Casey, I was asked, "Are you anti-Harry Roque?" And then I said, "No, I am never an anti-Harry Roque. Whenever I raise questions, I never go against the person. I go against the issue."
Which is one of the questions I really wanted to ask you, because you were also a victim of malice and yung mga sabi-sabi, hindi ba? Which we're going to talk about later on. Pag meron kang kaharap, at marami na rin tayong nakitang mga pagdinig, kongreso man yan or sa Senado, na nakasira talaga ng buhay ng tao, ng resource person. No? Are you conscious of that? Do you take that into consideration? And is that why you're just focusing on the issue and not on the personality?
I believe yes. I do not want to be very personal against the resource speakers. That's why I always maintain my questions to be within the parameter, within the boundary of the issues, rather than the personal issues of the person.
Is this, can you attribute that to what you and your husband experienced many years back? Those 2 rape charges.
I don't think that they are directly related to that. Perhaps that has been my position, my personality ever since I engaged in various committee hearings in the House, even before Quadcom, no? But you've mentioned about the cases that my husband and I went through, no? It brought a lot of impact to my life, to my family's life. And nakikita ko siya sa social media ngayon, Casey. Every time that I interpolate, lumalabas lagi yung fabricated cases of rape ng asawa ko. With the branding that tinago ko ang asawa ko,
Yes.
I evaded the law.
That's what's going around. That here you are holding people to account, and yet you told your husband to hide and not face these charges when they were filed against him. Talaga bang tinago niyo yung asawa niyo?
Yes. Tinago ko po ang asawa ko. It is because I needed to step back. So, hindi po totoo na I evaded the law. I just needed to step back because I needed to prepare my husband. I needed to prepare my young children then. I needed to prepare my kababayan in Mabini. Kasi may kaso yung mayor nila, di ba? And rape case is a very scandalous case, no? As soon as I believe that all of them are prepared already, I made my husband make voluntary surrender before the court. Na-arraign po siya. We attended the pre-trial. As a matter of fact, we filed a petition for bail. That's why he was able to get his temporary liberty. The prosecution was able to present their evidence. And from our end, the accused, we also presented our evidence. And we were able to prove, Casey, that the complainant is a fictitious personality. At first, I felt so frustrated because being a lawyer, a member of the bar, kabaro ko yung fiscal Kabaro ko yung judge How come that they were able to have this case, a warrant of arrest is issued, and the complainant is inexistent? We verified her identity with PSA, the Philippine Statistics Authority, with SHED, with DepEd, with COMELEC, and even with her alleged place of birth. I think it's in Bacoor, Cavite. Her identity is totally inexistent. And then when I go over the documents of the court and even of the prosecution, all the notices are returned to sender. The notices to the complainant, the notices to my husband, everything are returned to sender. Ibig sabihin, the address which is being used for my husband is erroneous. And the address that was submitted by the complainant is inexistent as well.
Was there ever a point during that time when you also were afraid that the truth might say otherwise? That here you are, you're trying to defend your husband, pero meron ba kayong kaba na baka totoo? 'Di ba? Ano yung nararamdaman niyo ng mga panahon yon?
Well, the first time I learned about that case, the fabricated case of rape, I immediately asked my husband. I asked him once. At sabi ko sa kanya, tatanungin kita ng isang beses lang. Whatever you will tell me, I will believe you. And the moment he said, that is not true, that is fabricated, and that is the time I initially made my stand. I need to have that warrant of arrest quashed.
And that happened.
Yeah.
But
As a
then
matter of fact,
there was
Casey,
another one
yeah.
that came.
As a matter of fact, to finish the first fabricated case of rape, the court rendered a decision dismissing the case with prejudice. Ibig sabihin, they cannot refile the case. And we were able to overwhelmingly establish that there is no complainant at all.
At all. Okay.
But it's so hard to believe, Casey, di ba?
Oh.
They went through the preliminary investigation. They went through the judicial determination of probable cause. They issued the warrant. And there is no person complaining my husband.
I know you mentioned about the conflict. Pero ito you took an oath as a lawyer to defend the rule of law, hindi ba? And then you see itong mga sinabi mo, kabaro nyo, circumventing the law. That must have been difficult. How difficult was that for you to see that, okay, this is the reality that I have to face?
At first, I was thinking to go against them, to file the necessary administrative cases. Pero when I started assuming my office as Congresswoman of Batangas 2nd District, and I saw the courage and the dedication of the people in the DOJ, which heads the preliminary investigation processes, most especially under the leadership of Secretary Boying. I submitted myself that perhaps this is an isolated case. Siguro naman, mas maraming fiscal at mas maraming judges ang tapat sa kanilang tungkulin.
Kailan ho yan nangyari? Pagkatapos or bago nung pangalawang complaint? Kasi may pangalawang dumating, hindi ba?
This happened after the 2 complaints. The second complaint happened 2 weeks after the court granted my husband's petition for bail. So, ibig sabihin, kakabalik lang niya ng Mabini, kaka-assume lang ulit niya ng kanyang office as mayor of Mabini. We discovered another rape case. Pero swerte namin, Casey, inabutan ko siya sa preliminary investigation during the time that it is still with the office of the prosecutor. So we were able to file the necessary counter affidavit. I made a complete account of his whereabouts. Every hour, every day, I submitted a complete account of my husband's whereabouts. But what is significant, Casey, kung anong modus dun sa first case, same modus dun sa second case.
Did you ever find out who was behind this?
I honestly believe that these people will not leave any footprint, no? Pero tao lang naman tayo, sino bang gagawa sa atin yan? Only people who have bad feelings, negative feelings about us. And yes, I do acknowledge that it is possible na politika din ang dahilan.
So then fast forward to the decision that had to be made that you were going to run for Congresswoman of 2nd District. For the longest time, you've been in the shadow of your husband.
Yeah.
Diba? Naging municipal administrator din po
That's
kayo.
true.
How does it feel like coming into your own? Na ito ka na. Hindi ka na municipal administrator, hindi ka na asawa lang ni Mayor Bitrics, pero congresswoman ka ng 2nd District of Batangas?
First of all, I feel so fulfilled, Casey, na madami tayong natutulungan and we are the avenue of all the help that we are getting from the government for our constituents, no? Ang dami po ng nagiging tulong ng ating pamahalaan para sa ating mga kababayan. Ang daming nangarap maging congressman. And I feel so humbled na through us, dumadaloy ang tulong ng pamahalaan para sa ating mga kababayan. But about how I feel now, that from becoming the wife of the then mayor and the municipal administrator of my hometown, hindi po nawawala sa isip ko na ang lahat ng ito ay nagmula sa aking kabiyak. As a matter of fact, Casey, siya ang unang nangarap na magkaroon ng congressman na galing sa aming bayan. And that is the reason why after winning his 2nd term, he started moving around the 6 municipalities of 2nd District. Nagpakilala na siya that he will be running for congressman.
Yeah, correct.
However, by December of 2019, I believe, dun siya na-confront ng mga 2 consecutive fabricated cases of rape.
Is it correct to assume that you've always been the force behind Mayor Bitrix? Kayo ba talaga ang puwersa?
I think it's vice versa. If I am the force behind my husband, I believe so as well, that he is the force behind this congresswoman.
Tell us about the foundation of that relationship. Mahirap kasi pag dalawang makapangyarihan.
Love story na to.
Oo. Pag paano ba ang love story ng dalawang makapangyarihan, hindi ba?
Paano ba kami nag-umpisa?
Pero makapangyarihan ba ang tingin nyo sa sarili ninyo? Let's start off with that.
No. I have always appreciated myself as the support system of my husband. As a matter of fact, nung single pa po tayo, yes, I was a career woman. Galing po tayo ng Department of Justice. I even joined the Special Presidential Task Force 156 that is on tax credit scam, if you remember that. I led the investigation which resulted to the abolition of one-stop shop center in the Department of Finance, no? But the moment I married my husband, Casey, I don't know if you have that kind of feeling, no? I really submitted myself to him. Parang ang naging fulfillment ko na lang is to see my husband happy,
Succeed.
to see my children happy, to see my family okay. Basta okay sila, okay na din ako.
Naiintindihan. Gets na gets ko yun, Congresswoman. Because ganun din ako.
Talaga?
Oo, ganun din ako. It's my...
But you're a superwoman now.
Hindi po. Pareho lang tayo. I mean, at the end of the day, di ba, may pamilya tayong inuwian.
Yeah. After a very busy day, it is always fulfilling to go back to your family.
And that's when you get refueled and recharged,
Yes,
hindi ba?
that's very true.
So, naudlot ng kaunti, nalihis ng kaunti yung love story ninyo.
Yeah. Kala ko nakatakas na ako eh.
Hindi. Ano ba yung foundation?
The foundation.
Why is it so easy for 2 accomplished people to be so supportive of each other? Kasi kalimitan nangyayari, 'di ba? Pag may karera yung isa, may karera yung isa. Akala nung iba siguro mga nasa labas, parang do they compete with each other? How do they support each other? What's the foundation of your relationship with your husband?
I think it's because my husband was the one who started being in politics, no? At naramdaman niya how I supported him, how I adjusted my life, how I adjusted my career, how I subordinated my career to his.
Hindi ka naman nanunumbat.
No,
Okay.
no. Kasi sabi nga natin, di ba, that's where our fulfillment lies. To see them successful, to see them fulfilled, to see them happy. That's our parameter of happiness, no? I think my husband is somehow assured already na kahit anong mangyari, I will always be behind him to support him, no? Kaya kahit ngayong tayo ay, as you have said, we are assuming this function of being a Congresswoman of Batangas. Second, and my husband right now is a private citizen, but I hope he will be able to redeem the mayoralty in 2025, no? Pagdating naman sa bahay, he's very true about what he always say.
Which is?
Siya ang may suot ng pantalon.
Oh. A while ago, I introduced you as the accidental congresswoman because it wasn't really part of the plan. But do you still feel it now that you're an accidental congresswoman? Or do you now think that it's part of a grand design?
Well, at first, yes, I was an accidental congresswoman. That's how I started. But receiving this honor and opportunity from my constituents, the mandate from my constituents, I think I am destined to be here to become the voice of the people of Batangas 2nd District. Because naalala ko lang po, when I requested for the blessing of my former boss and professor in law school, the former DOJ Secretary Nani Perez, no? Nagpaalam ako sa kanya, sabi ko, Ninong, sir, ako po'y tatakbong congresswoman. Sana po, bigay niyo yung blessing niyo sa akin. Because he used to be the congressman of our district during his younger years. Isa lang binili niya sa akin. He told me, never become a member of the Committee on Silence. So I think I am fulfilling the promise that I gave him during that time.
Speaking of not becoming a member of the Committee on Silence, Congresswoman, ano ang pakiramdam nyo ngayon? No? Andyan kayo, matapang na nagtatanong.
Matapang ba talaga ako?
Oo, sige, inom muna kayo. How do you feel that you're there? You're probing, you're interrogating, hindi ba? You're ferreting out the truth, no? Pero ang dami niyong mga kasama sa Kongreso ngayon na miyembro ng Committee of Silence. Noong mga panahong maraming namamatay, maraming kailangang dapat nakapagsalita para sa taong bayan, and yet they chose to remain silent. How do you feel about that? That you're with them, they're your colleagues. Isa sila sa mga naging miyembro ng Committee of Silence.
I wish to speak for myself, Casey, no? Kasi iba yung panahon noon, iba yung panahon ngayon. Kumbaga, I do not want to prejudge kung anong naging standpoint nila. For today, I welcome the opportunity na marami sa ating mga kababayan, not only the members of the House, are really speaking out. The truth, the things that happened in the past, to ferret out the truth and give justice sa mga tao na natapakan.
I'm sure you've heard this time and again. Bilog ang mundo, lalo na sa mundo ng politika. How do you keep yourself in check? Na I'm sure you're well aware of your predecessors at kung sino man ang napunta dyan sa Kongreso dati na hindi ka magiging katulad nila. How do you keep yourself in check, Congresswoman Jinky?
Siguro, Casey, I have to share my story of who supported me during my first congressional bid, no? I always share this to the people. Ang naging kasaysayan ni Bitrix, 2022, kandidatong congresswoman, walang kakamping mayor, walang kakamping kapitan. Pero dahil sa pagmamahal at suporta ng taong bayan, nabiyayaan ng pagkakataon na maglingkod bilang congresswoman. I always believe in the supremacy of the people. Kahit hindi mo kasama ang mayor, kahit hindi mo kasama ang kapitan, pag taong bayan ang nanindigan para sa'yo, no one can prevent you from winning the trust of the people and getting this opportunity to serve as congresswoman.
And that's how you keep yourself in check. Sila lang ang
Yes.
iisipin mo, okay ka na.
Yes.
Oo, and that's sort of your guiding principle.
With all due respect sa ating mga mayors at sa ating mga kapitan. Because most of them ay kaibigan ko na ngayon, Casey,
talaga.
no?
Sabi ko, bilog ang mundo
in fact,
Oh.
I always tell them, secondary lang ang kapartido nyo. Secondary lang ang kasama nyo. The primary is kung ramdam kayo ng tao. Because at the end of the day, tao ang huhusga sa inyo. Pag tao ang nanindigan para sa inyo, you will win whatever battle you go through.
Sa sobrang busy ninyo, Congresswoman, what do you do after hours? I know that in between, pareho tayo, naghahabulan tayo just to get this schedule going, no? You came from Batangas bago kayo nagpunta dito. But after everything is said and done, what do you do after hours? Anong ginagawa ng isang Congresswoman, Jinky Bitrics?
Ako, hihiga ako sa kama namin. Kasama ko yung 3 anak ko tsaka ang asawa ko. Magfo-food trip, panonood ng Netflix, panonood ng YouTube, and I'm super recharged after that.
That's the love. That's the love from family that
Yeah.
keeps you going.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Congresswoman Jinky Bitrics Reyes-Luistro, for joining us. And that'll do it for another conversation off the clock. I'm Carmina Constantino Torres. See you on the next one. This has been Casey After Hours. You know the drill. Like and subscribe. See you then.